But first, breaking news in the last hour, the U.S. Attorney in Louisville has announced several arrests connected to a major drug trafficking operation that spans from Detroit, Michigan to right here in Louisville. Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Isaiah Kim Martinez. U.S. Attorney Kyle Bumgarner says 9 people are now in federal custody in a drug bust from over the weekend. We're told federal authorities seized high levels of meth, cocaine, and fentanyl, which drug traffickers were bringing from Michigan into Kentucky. Agents also found 12 guns, 5 of which were stolen.
Under recent years, serious offenses were not always charged to the full extent. Under this Justice Department, that directive has changed. We will charge the most serious, readily provable offense every time without exception.
The U.S. Attorney's Office says LMPD started this investigation and partnered with the DEA and ATF here in Louisville. They say lives were saved because of this work, and the suspects, they face 10-year minimum sentences if convicted. The other big story here at noon, meteorologist Matthew Willoughby with me now, is this cold. We've had, of course, snow showers, Matthew, yesterday,
a lot going on.
and we could have more to come.
Yeah, we surely will have more to come for us as we go towards tomorrow and Saturday. So that's why we do have a weather impact alert day in store for us as we go towards your Friday and into Saturday. So those impacts, those snow showers will roll through, which will definitely cause some slick travel and some slowdowns, and give yourself some extra time, especially if you're heading out and about for your Friday night. So overall, give you a look outside right now. We saw some clouds earlier in the day. We've got rid of those, and honestly, welcome some nice sunshine out there for us as we're going towards this afternoon. So continue the nice sunshine, but looks can be deceiving as temperatures are into the mid-20s for this afternoon. So it's really a cold day after the snow showers, or at least the snow bursts we had last night in some areas. So that max HD radar does show most of our area looking rather clear, just a few flurries just north of Seymour for this afternoon. And we widen the picture out, some areas still seeing some lake effect snow showers into eastern Lake Erie and down to Lake Michigan, seeing some lake effect snow showers out there. The hourly planner won't come up too much, as temperatures will only be into the upper 20s for highs today. But back into the afternoon, evening hours, we'll even dip into the lower 20s for really a cold night on tap for you. Here, look at those weather headlines to break it down for you. Today, downright cold, but as we go towards your Friday and into Saturday, we'll see more snow showers on the way for our next system, which is system number 2 that will be rolling in. We saw system number 1 yesterday, but Sunday turns very cold. How cold are we talking? Well, that pattern change will really bring temperatures well until the 20s for highs on your Sunday, but the cold does not stop there. I'll be tying out those snow details in a look at the week ahead coming up in just a few minutes. Back over to you, Isaiah.
Matthew, thank you very much. Major layoffs and potential school closures could be ahead for JCPS. This week, Superintendent Brian Yearwood revealed details of his draft proposal to get the district's finances in order, facing a massive budget shortfall. Alex Dieterer and photojournalist Aspen Hester explain how the cuts could impact your student and their school.
Major cuts to JCPS to the tune of $142 million.
This is a very difficult time, but we have to keep the 93,000 students in mind with our decisions going forward.
Cuts that still have school closures on the table for Zachary Taylor and King Elementary.
I just feel like we're constantly fighting this battle and not being listened to or heard.
Ruthetta Ashley teaches 4th grade at King Elementary.
They have all these questions and we can't answer them. And just that uncertainty and that anxiety has just put a lot more trauma on children who experience such a high rate of trauma.
Superintendent Dr. Brian Yearwood says the district is also still looking at closing Zachary Taylor Elementary School.
These are the most vulnerable students in my district, those 275 K-5 students. And I am vigorously defending their interests right now. Board member James Craig says he's demanded to see a transition plan for those elementary students from the district before the board votes on the budget Tuesday. Some type of an accountability on the other end of that to ensure that they don't fall through the cracks. Dr. Yearwood's draft budget also holds true to his promise that a large chunk of cuts will come from the central office.
The district is looking at cutting $44 million from the central office, and those
those cuts include eliminating around 300 positions. Other cuts include $41 million from supplemental and add-on programs by reducing bookkeepers, academic instructional coaches, and school safety administrators, and $13 million from operations and transportation. Those cuts are coming from stipends that have been offered as incentives to get more bus drivers.
So it doesn't affect a salary.
Find a superintendent from outside to give a different perspective. We did it. Cut central office positions. We're doing it. We've put in more oversight in a year, I think, that we've done in a very long time.
JCPS board member Taylor Everett.
The leader of this district has changed. I feel it is our duty to give him a chance to show us and back up what he says.
The board is now left with less than a week to decide how they're voting on their proposed budget and multi-millions of dollars in cuts. In Louisville, Alex Dieter, WHAS 11 on your side.
Superintendent Yearwood also said the district is potentially looking at proposing moving Liberty High School to the Gaines Early Childhood Center. The board is set to vote on the draft budget at its meeting next Tuesday, but a vote on the final budget wouldn't come until months later. Over in Trimble County, their big concern right now is students' health. Fast-spreading winter illness is impacting schools there in Trimble County. The school district canceled classes for today and tomorrow because so many people are sick. Youth League basketball practices are also canceled through Sunday. The district says the days will be made up at the end of the school year. Now to the Highlands, where some neighbors aren't too happy about a planned gun store off Bardstown Road. Madden Firearms is set to open in Bardstown Center. That's near Trevilian Way and Taylorsville Road. People packed the cafeteria at Assumption High School last night for a meeting about the planned store. Neighbors say it would be too close to homes and the Lakeside Swim Club. They're also worried a gun store could lead to more crime. Others, though, were not opposed to the idea.
I believe in growing businesses along Bardstown Road. I don't think this is the right space for that kind of business.
Gun stores are going to be attacked just like jewelry stores, just like anything else that has expensive items that it's easy to run off with.
Metro Councilman Ben Reno Weber, who represents the Highlands, says the only people who can decide if the business goes in are the owner and the landlord. We reached out to the owner of the gun store for comment, but have not heard back at this time. We turn now to the troubling details from an update in the deadly UPS plane crash investigation. The NTSB, which is the investigating arm here, now says Boeing had been aware of a problem with a part on that kind of plane for at least a decade, since 2011. In a report released this week, the NTSB explained three major details. It says the part of the left engine attaching it to the plane failed and was noticeably worn out. A 2011 Boeing service letter said a similar problem was found in at least 3 other planes. At the time, Boeing said it didn't think it would interfere with flight safety if the planes were regularly inspected. We talked with our aviation experts, WHAS 11's Reed Yaden and attorney Ladd Sanger. Both say the report points fingers at Boeing.
They knew that there was a potential for this to fail. They came up with a safer alternative design.
Oh, yes. Boeing was aware of the issue, hence the reason for the service bulletin that they came out for the inspection of that particular part.
Now, obviously, we've been following this. The NTSB says it's looking at UPS records to make sure they were following the inspection recommendation.
A lot of that is attributable to specifically the first responders and MSD getting out in this north ditch and the other waterways immediately and keeping this from migrating off-site. Really incredible. We don't see that elsewhere.
Meanwhile, more help is on the way at the crash site by the airport. You just heard from John Gary there with Clean Harbors. It's one company getting involved with oil cleanup. He credits MSD and first responders with stopping the spread of oil after the crash. MSD said last week it's removed about 4.7 million gallons of oily water from the area so far. Gary now says a new and bigger water processing unit with 3 1 million gallon tanks is being built as cleanup continues.